The Chinese destroyer cuts across USS Muston's bow at 400 YD. Aggressive blocking maneuver in the middle of Taiwan Strait transit, July 15, 2025. Taiwan Strait, 24 nautical miles from Chinese coast. International waters where law guarantees passage, but reality delivers confrontation. USS Muston drives south through moderate seas. Guided missile destroyer conducting routine freedom of navigation operation. Gray steel cutting through blue-gray swells. Standard mission profile in contested waterway. The PLN warship emerges from northern approach. Type 055 Nanch music destroyer in Chinese fleet. Deliberate intercept course aimed at the American vessel's heading. Chinese warship positions, music itself perpendicular to Muston's track. Classic blocking tactic. The aggressor plants itself directly in the path, daring music the U.S. Navy to blink first. Nanchang accelerates, drives into position with aggressive speed that kicks whitewater. Music from its bow. The rival destroyer commits fully to the harassment. No subtle posturing, music just direct confrontation. USS Muston alters heading 5 degrees. Professional response maintains steady speed while adjusting course to preserve safe separation. No panic, no surrender of navigational rights, music just calculated adjustment. The opposing warship matches the turn instantly, stays positioned music in front, refuses to yield right-of-way despite international maritime protocols that govern such encounters. The game escalates from intercept to active blocking. Separation evaporates from 400 YD to 300. The planned vessel presses its advantage, using mass and music position to crowd the American ship into reactive maneuvering. Muston's bridge crew calculates collision, music risk, through observation and experience. Current geometry sustainable but deteriorating, range compressing with each music passing minute as Chinese. Captain pushes boundaries, second escalation arrives, music without warning. PLN Nanchang deploys rigid hull inflatable boat, armed boarding music team visible in tactical gear as the small craft motors away from destroyer side. The RHIB music drives aggressively toward U.S. warship ostensibly for safety inspection. Questionable authority in international waters, but consistent with Chinese music harassment playbook. Small rubber boat playing outsized role in high-stakes confrontation, inflatable music positions itself between both destroyers, tiny craft occupying the narrowing music gap where 7,000-ton vessels maneuver for advantage, vulnerability and provocation combined. U.S. crew observes through binoculars, Chinese music sailors in full tactical gear, weapons visible on slings but not aimed, professional appearance, music masking aggressive intent, space continues compressing, 250 YD separate the warships now, music close enough to read hull numbers, close enough to see individual sailors on weather decks, close enough that any miscalculation becomes catastrophic. The American vessel holds course and speed. Music standard protocol for harassment situations. Demonstrate resolve without escalation. Maintain legal rights without creating incident. Professional naval operations despite provocation. Boarding vessel circles around Muston stern. Aggressive maneuvering that brings the inflatable within wake turbulence from destroyers' propellers. The small craft rocks violently in disturbed water, but maintains its harassment pattern. Nanch adjusts position yet again, moving closer still, boxing in the gray steel guardian between PLN hull and rubber boat. Tactical squeeze play using positioning rather than weapons. The breathing music room vanishes. Each maneuver tightens the geometry. Each adjustment compresses music, the safe maneuvering space. The situation migrates from harassment toward genuine danger. Minutes tick past. Music tension builds. Professional crews on both bridges calculating risks and options, while small boat continues its provocative circles. The Nanch's bow swings hard to port, not blocking anymore, but bearing down on collision course with mere seconds to react. Decision point arrives, music instantly. USS Muston's captain faces the choice. Maintain heading and risk impact or music yield navigational rights in international waters. The American destroyer holds course, refusing to surrender music legal passage to intimidation tactics. Steel nerves matching steel hulls in maritime standoff, where neither side wants actual collision, but neither will concede music first. The aggressor continues its turn. Massive bow wave building as displacement music pushes thousands of tons of water aside. Physics and engineering combining into hydraulic music, force that radiates outward from the turning vessel. Range collapses to 150 yards within critical collision envelope where evasive action becomes impossible rather than music, merely difficult. Both captains committed now to trajectories that converge toward disaster. Game of maritime chicken with 7,000 music ton consequences. Hulls displacing enough water to create deadly turbulence. Momentum, music and mass that cannot stop or turn in the remaining distance. At 75 YDs, Nanchang's captain flinches. Emergency rudder reversal. Hard over. Maximum rate turn to avoid the impact. Neither side actually wants, but both drove toward through tactical brinksmanship. Chinese destroyer stern music swings violently. Physics demanding payment for emergency maneuver at speed. The turn creates massive wave displacement surge rolling music outward from the pivot point where vessel fights its own momentum. Wall of water explodes music across the narrow gap. Hydraulic force. Radiating from emergency turn. Rolling swell driven by thousands of tons of steel changing direction in confined space. The rigid music hull inflatable still positioned between both destroyers catches full force. Small craft in wrong place at a catastrophic moment. Broadside impact from water wall that treats rubber boat like toy. The RHIB flips violently, capsizes in seconds. 6 Chinese sailors' music thrown into Taiwan Strait as their vessel inverts beneath them. Tactical gear and weapons becoming anchors, dragging them down in rough seas. Life vests deploy automatically, but physics works against them. Music. Several sailors struggle in turbulence between massive hose. Caught in washing machine of disturbed water where 2 destroyers maneuvered too close with too much aggression. Muston's bridge crew sees the capsized boat, immediately sees swimmers fighting the current. Humanitarian crisis superseding tactical standoff in instant. Transformation from confrontation to rescue scenario. American captain makes the call without hesitation. Render assistance per maritime law. Professional obligation transcending political tensions. Lives over tactics. Music. USS Muston slows. Begins maneuvering to rescue position despite ongoing situation. The warship shifts from confrontation mode to humanitarian response. Different procedures, different priorities, same professional execution. Nanchang also reduces speed, their aggressive posturing suddenly irrelevant, their sailors drowning in water disturbed by their own emergency music turn. Unable to assist effectively due to poor positioning from tactical maneuvering, the guided missile destroyer deploys rescue swimmers and boat crew, professional mariners responding to distress regardless of nationality or political context. Training overriding everything else. Chinese warship watches helpless. Their harassment tactic produced casualties. They cannot reach while U.S. vessel maneuvers to save them. First Chinese swimmer pulled aboard within 3 minutes. Efficient rescue operation in rough seas. American crew working with practiced coordination born from endless drills. Second swimmer retrieved, then third professional efficiency extracting exhausted sailors from dangerous water. No hesitation despite the political complexity. Chinese bridge crew faces humiliating reality. Their aggressive tactics resulted in own personnel requiring rescue by the vessel they were intimidating. Music tactical failure compounded by humanitarian debt. 4th sailor recovered. 5th pulled from the strait. Each extraction adding to the unspoken ledger where U.S. professionalism contrasts music with Chinese recklessness. The final Chinese sailor struggles, heavy tactical gear, overwhelming life vest buoyancy. Music, equipment weight pulling him down despite flotation, sinking despite. Safety equipment because harassment mission required combat music loadout. U.S. rescue swimmer dives without hesitation. Fighting clock and physics music to reach drowning man. Professional lifesaver ignoring nationality to focus on mission. Desperate underwater struggle. Music rescuer cutting gear straps. Fighting equipment weight and water resistance. Bringing Chinese sailor towards surface and air and survival. The last Chinese sailor breaks music surface gasping alive because U.S. destroyer crew chose humanity music over politics. And someone in Beijing is watching the video footage with very music different concerns than tactical victory. All 6 Chinese sailors aboard USS Music Muston receiving medical evaluation. Cold water exposure, music exhaustion, near drowning, but no serious injuries. Music beyond shaken confidence and damaged pride. American crew provides dry clothing, warm drinks, professional medical treatment. The sailors who were conducting harassment operation minutes earlier now wrapped in U.S. Navy blankets, drinking U.S. Navy coffee. Statement issues from U.S. Navy within hours. TER professional. Diplomatic language concealing operational satisfaction. Rendered assistance per international maritime law and humanitarian obligation. All personnel safe. Video footage begins circulating. Captured by both ships' external cameras recorded by nearby commercial vessels transiting same waters. Multiple angles documenting the entire sequence. The clips show everything. Aggressive Chinese blocking. Emergency turn creating displacement wave. Capsized inflatable. U.S. rescue response. Narrative told through imagery that needs no commentary. Chinese state media faces impossible narrative problem. Claim harassment success, while their sailors required rescue by hostile vessel. Declare tactical victory, while video shows tactical disaster. Nanchang maintains music position at respectful distance, neither departing nor continuing harassment. Their personnel remain music aboard American warship, while diplomatic channels work furiously behind scenes. 2 hours pass, negotiations, music through multiple levels, arranging personnel transfer without either side losing music face. Complex choreography of pride and practicality. USS Music Muston continues original Taiwan Strait transit. Chinese sailors still aboard. Unprecedented situation. Enemy personnel witnessing music U.S. operations while diplomatic solution develops. PLN destroyer follows music at safe distance. No more aggressive maneuvers, no more blocking tactics. The capsized boat changed calculations instantly, music and completely. Chinese sailors aboard American vessel witness professional operations. Music received courteous treatment despite political tensions. See firsthand the crew that pulled them from the water while their own ship watched helplessly. Transfer finally arranged. Neutral Philippines Coast Guard cutter meets both music destroyers at designated coordinates. Third-party solution preserving dignity while resolving practical problem. Personnel transferred professionally. Music U.S. crew shows respect. Chinese sailors show grudging appreciation that transcends music, language, and politics. Human moment amid strategic competition. The PLN vessel recovers its personnel, retrieves capsized RHIB, damaged but salvageable. Tactical mission failed comprehensively. Humanitarian debt incurred publicly. International music maritime community analyzes the incident. Clear evidence of reckless tactics causing own casualty situation. Professional forums music discussing what went wrong when aggressive maneuvering met physical reality. Chinese Naval Command issues, music, quiet internal directive, maintain professionalism, avoid creating humanitarian incidents that embarrass. The service, learn from public failure, music without acknowledging it publicly. USS Mustin completes Taiwan music straight transit without further harassment. The near tragedy temporarily chilling aggressive intercept tactics, music, across the entire theater. Memory of capsized sailors adding weight to tactical calculations. But temporary doesn't mean permanent. Maritime competition doesn't pause for lessons. Music learned. 3 days later, another U.S. destroyer enters the strait. PLN vessels respond with intercepts. More cautious this time, maintaining safer distances. The pattern resumes, but modified by recent experience. Harassment continues. Blocking maneuvers. Music return, but margins expand. Separation distances increase. The memory of rescue adding invisible buffer to tactical geometry. The video of U.S. sailors pulling drowning Chinese personnel from the strait plays on loop across maritime safety forums. And the next PLN captain approaching a U.S. warship has to calculate whether tactical aggression is worth the risk of becoming the next rescue headline music, if he's lucky enough to need rescue rather than worse.